What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, on the way to the game. I've just heard Wolves have sacked their manager. So if there was ever any need for a win today, it is today. We need to win. We need to win today. No doubt about it. I fear for us if we don't win today. And I don't think there's any other option. I mean, hopefully Nuno picks the right side. Probably by the time this goes out, it will be confirmed with the team selection. But I think all the focus today is on the game, and then after the game, there's the protest. Now, if ever you thought that it was time to protest, today is the day. I mean, the mainstream media. I see Dodge Woodhall go live the other day, and he was talking about West Ham. He don't really talk about West Ham that much, but Dodge Woodhall, the podcaster, started talking about how far we've fallen as a football club, and that's on top of Davy Croft on the F1 programme. And if ever there was time to protest, today is the time to make the protest. Now, apparently, right, there's some sections that have been laid out by Hammers United, and I know Crossed Hammers are doing the same thing. So it's a sit-in today. There's no march, but there's the sit-in today. And if ever there was time to protest, pressure is mounting on these owners, not just because of the performances on the pitch, but because of the situations arising in it. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we have, me and Dan especially, have been on TalkSport talking about the stadium and how much it would cost to get David Sullivan out, how much would it cost to get out of the rental agreement for the stadium. Now, there's been an interview with Sadiq Khan, and Sadiq Khan, who has famously been very opposed to West Ham being in the London Stadium. He was one trying to, after Boris Johnson left his position as mayor, and he basically handed it to us on a plate, which was probably the worst thing to ever happen to us. So thank you, Boris Johnson, for that. But Sadiq Khan was famously trying to look for gaps in the agreement. So he was trying to sort of see if he can raise the rent. I think the rent is at £4 million a year right now. It was £2.5 million, but now it is at £4 million, which is not much for a football stadium. Now, obviously, they get all of the concessions and everything else, right? So it's a deal where they get this. The problem is with that is that they are not making any money. In fact, they're losing money time after time and time after time after time after year after year after year. Lots of money, right? So Sadiq Khan had an interview, and he basically went, we can negotiate. If they want to go and they want to leave the London Stadium, we are well within our rights to negotiate it. We would entertain the idea of negotiating the exit from the stadium, because it makes sense for the government, because it costs the government many millions of pounds a year. It's not fit for football, so it doesn't benefit anyone. The only person it benefits really is David Sullivan. And, at this point, at this juncture, the way the state of the football club is, we are in deep trouble. Let's not make any bones about it. Nottingham Forest yesterday showing a bit of steel resilience, and they're going very low on petrol, showing a bit of steel and resilience, and getting a 2-2 draw against Man United. Very unlucky not to win the game. Wolves have just sacked their manager. We're playing Newcastle, which are one of the better sides in the league, with a weak midfield, and they are famously one of the teams with the strongest midfield. They've got Tonali, Jolinton, and Gomez, who can run the show, right? We could be in big trouble. So Sadiq Khan said they will negotiate. Now, I'm not saying that there's going to be new plans for a new stadium straight away. Obviously, there's not going to be new plans for Australia. There ain't even a owner lined up. But what I would say is this: is the football is suffering at the London Stadium. The football is suffering, without a doubt. Right? We have not had. We've had one win, no win since February. We haven't won there since February. 2 wins this year. It's not a home ground for us, right? So if a new owner was to come in, he would probably look at that as an investment that needs to be made. No, I'm not saying straight away, but in the future. And we've just got the green light from the Mayor of Newham, Mayor of London, saying, yes, if you want to get out, we can negotiate you getting out. Now, that is not going to happen with David Sullivan and Karen Brady at the helm. They have got a fantastic deal for themselves, right? And that is all that they've ever cared about, and that is all that David Sullivan has ever cared about, and that is himself. So they are not going to do it, right? So what we need to do today, all right, please, if we go 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 down, it's not about the football. We're not protesting about the football. But if we go 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 down today, please don't leave the stadium. Make your voices heard. Because I don't know whether you see, Gonzo done a great interview with Bill Gardner and Bubbles the other day about the state of this football club, and it is sad. It is sad to watch 2 lifelong fans that have been following this club for a lot longer than I've been alive, telling you need to stand up and fight for this club. Yeah, you need to stand up and fight. And listen, we are standing up against an opponent today that can show you how quickly things change if the ownership can change. They was dead and buried. They was in our position a couple of years ago before this Saudi lot took over. And I'm not saying we need Saudi owners, but I'm just saying they got owners in that had a bit of tenacity about them, that wanted to do something. They was where we were. No wins in the league before they took over. And look at them now, they're playing Champions League football, one of the better teams in the league. They just sold their star striker for £135 million, and they've got another star striker in. It just shows you this. You're not talking 5 years. They've just made plans for a new stadium, right? It is a famous old football club that have not won trophies for a lot longer than we've won trophies. We are a football club worth saving. We are a football club worth investing in. The only people stopping us from investing in this football stadium and this football club are the people at the helm that see it as a cash cow, that have mismanaged it, that have absolutely torn the soul out of this football club, and we need someone to bring it back. So if we're 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 down, please do not leave this stadium, because it is not about the football today. It is about making your voices heard. Listen, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. That's up to you, you know. And I know there's a lot of people in that stadium that aren't as emotionally invested as me and you, or Bill, or Bubbles, or Nick, or Dan, or Ryan, or anyone. But if you've got anything about you, if you've got any point that you want to save this, you think this football club's worth saving, right? Because that is what we're talking about. We're talking about this is how desperately, it's not the football, but it's the way we are leaking our true supporters, the way our true supporters have been treated over the last 10 years, the lies that have been told to deceive these people have got to be gone with the owners. We need someone in that wants to take this football club forward. And this lot here, after that Conference League win, look at the decline in 2 years. They do not know what they're doing. They don't know. So if you've got anything about you, stay today. Regardless of what the score is, stay today and make your voices heard. Because the more and more people start doing it, the more pressure you put on these owners. And eventually, they will crack. It may be too late. It may be early, but as I said, look at the people we are playing today and look how quickly their fortunes have turned around since they've got rid of their own toxic owner. So stay today, make your voices heard, and hopefully we'll be celebrating the win. But even if we win, stay anyway, because it is not about the football. Anyway, I'll see you at the London Stadium. Listen, if you want a fan cam, I'm going to be around after the game. I'm going to be doing the protests first, and if you want to wait for me inside the stadium, we'll do fan cams inside. If you want to wait for me outside, we'll do them outside. But please, anything you do, just make your voices heard, and let's try and get Brady and Sullivan out of this football club, and maybe we'll have a future. Let's go. Hopefully we get the win. One thing left to say, come on you ones.